Today we will not be the Swedish chef from the Muppet Show making chicken in the basket. Today it is another show. It's all about a national Belgian dish called the Gentse Waterzooi. First of all, I like to welcome all Belgians in America who are member of our Facebook group and who are waiting for this national dish, the Gentse Waterzooi, le Waterzooi de Gand. I can tell you that Gentse Waterzooi is a mixture of a chicken dinner mixed with a vegetable soup. I also can tell you that I'm just a simple cook who is making simple recipes. If I can do it, you can do it. Let me start with the main ingredient, which is chicken, of course. This is just a natural chicken from Amish country. Then we go on with all the vegetables that we need. 4 carrots, 4 potatoes, 1 parsnip, 1 onion, 2 shallots, 4 celery branches, and 2 branches of leek. Then we have the small ingredients: 3 eggs, thyme, bay leaves, starch to thicken the sauce, and of course salt, pepper, some parsley, and we don't forget the cream. So now we're ready to go. So here you see a nice assortment of vegetables. It doesn't matter which vegetables you put in there. For the first time, I'm gonna put a parsnip in there. If you like carrots, you put some more carrots. If you like corn, you can add some corn. Then it's more an American way of Gentse Waterzooi. But those are the typical vegetables here to make a Gentse Waterzooi. Okay, so we start with the chicken, and I always like to rinse my chicken before I cut it up. Just hold it under some water. Just rinse it good, because you never know what they put in the bag to keep the chicken fresh. Okay, so now comes the most difficult part of the Gentse Waterzooi, that's cutting up the chicken. So we just cut it up in pieces, we leave on the skin, and we will put the pieces together with all the bones in the Gentse Waterzooi. So here we go. First do the thighs. And don't be afraid to use your hands. You can break off the thigh and then cut it through. Okay, so we do that from both sides. Take off the breasts. And it's important to have a good chef, a sharp chef, because otherwise you will have a heck of a time to cut up the chicken. So this was step 1, cutting up the chicken. Okay. So my whole chicken is cut up. I have the carcass, and here I have the legs, the breasts, and the wings. Now we're ready. So the first step is we will start making the bouillon. And I've put everything on the side what we need to make the bouillon. We start with 1 onion, 1 shallot, 2 carrots, 2 stalks of celery, and we will cut off the greens of the leek. Besides that, we need 1 cube of bouillon that I've dissolved in water. We will use the bay leaves and the thyme. So here we go. We start by cutting up the carrots, and what we will do is we will just keep it in big pieces. It is only to give off the taste. It is not to eat afterwards. We have 2 more carrots left there. That's what we're gonna make in the Waterzooi. So just big pieces, like this. That's all we need, okay? So we will cut up the rest now. So I cut up all the vegetables. As you can see, in big pieces. This is not a beauty contest. You just cut up roughly in pieces. So I have my onion, my celery, and my shallot. So put it in the pot. The pot is filled. I have 3 liters of water in there. As you can see, this pot is not too big and not too small. It's about 20 centimeter diameter because the whole chicken has to be covered with water. That's very important. So don't use a pot that's too big because your chicken will not be covered. And please only use 3 liters of water because otherwise your Waterzooi is too diluted. So I also take the carrots, and as you can see, it's the green of the leeks. The green part of the leeks. Not the leaves, the green part of the leeks. Just put it in there and try not to miss the pot. So there it is. It's all in there. Now I just add the chicken. So here's my chicken. I first put the small pieces in there. So the breasts, the thighs, the wings, and the carcass I put on top. So, and I push it down so that everything is underwater. In the kitchen, you always use paper towels for the hygiene and for the bacteria. Don't use a cotton towel. Now, don't forget to put the herbs in there because that's important. I start with a cube of chicken bouillon. I add some leaves, some bay leaves, and it's up to you how many you put. Usually I put some three leaves in there. 1, 2, 3. Then I have some thyme powder. I don't like to use the thyme branches in there. It gives me too much dust. So I just use the powder, and it doesn't come to a gram or a milligram. Just put some in there, and you can taste afterwards if it's good enough. So that's it. Now we can start the fire. And we let it cook for plus minus 50 minutes. 50 minutes should be good. We don't want to cook all the vegetables until they break up, because then your bouillon is not very clear. 50 minutes should do it, and it absorbs the taste of the carcass very well in 50 minutes. While the bouillon is getting ready, we have plenty of time. We even have time to drink a glass of wine. Also, it's time to set the table. And as a chef, it is important that you have some secret weapons in your kitchen. My secret weapon is my wife, who set this nice table. With Gentse Waterzooi, you can have a choice between a red wine and a white wine. So, my dear, which wine would you like to drink today?
I would like the white wine.
Okay, excellent choice. So the red wine, that could be a Pinot Noir, excellent for the Gentse Waterzooi. But today, we will drink a white wine. It's a white Chardonnay. It's a delicious Chardonnay. It's owned by one of my friends, my neighbors here, and this is about the best white wine that I've ever drank. It's going to be white wine today. Let us taste this white wine. So as I said, this is a Chardonnay from the winery White Oak from California. Just look it up on the internet and you will see what excellent wines that they have. So my dear, let's do cheers.
Ready?
Cheers. Really delicious. So now we go on with the Gentse Waterzooi. If you like to have a quality Gentse Waterzooi, then the next step is very important. It's very easy, but it's very important. You have to scoop off the grease that's floating on top of the bouillon. So I'll do that. I put the fire on a low and you see all the grease here on top. So be careful, don't scoop off too much water, just scoop off the top layer and you see all the grease is floating. So I think I got most of it now. So we'll do it one more time at the end, so it has to cook for another 20 minutes. So put the fire back up, close the lid and let it cook. 20 more minutes. And the cooking is done, 50 minutes. So now we're gonna work at the final product. So this is our bouillon. And the first thing we're going to do, so we don't forget, is to scoop off the grease again, just like we do it. So just the top, scoop off the grease. We don't want to have grease rings on top of our waterzooi. So now we take about 2 liters of the bouillon to go on with the waterzooi. Take out the chicken. So we separated the bouillon from the vegetables and the chicken. Now we're going to take more or less 2 liters of the bouillon. Two liters and a half is good for Gentse Waterzooi for 2 or 3 people. It doesn't come to a centiliter, but this should be good. Put it back on the heating. I add another chicken bouillon cube to give it an extra flavor, and don't add too much salt anymore afterwards because this is pretty salty. So it's optional. If you don't like it too salty, then don't put this cube in there. The bouillon is ready. I'm going to put now first the vegetable that needs the longest cooking, which is the parsnip. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes. Okay. So after 3 minutes, I put in the potatoes and the carrots. And again we let it cook for about 3-4 minutes before we put in the leek and the celery. In the meantime, I've taken out the chicken. I take off the skin of the chicken. No need to keep the skin on the chicken when you're making Gentse Waterzooi. Just take it off. We want to have clean chicken in our waterzooi. I also saved some carrots and I put them back in the bouillon because I love carrots. So we just let it cook for a few minutes and then we're coming close to an end. The bouillon that I have left over, we put it in the freezer and we can use it for the next meal. Okay, 3 minutes later, I'm adding leek, celery, the shallot, and now I top it off with all. So I'm going to let it first cook for a couple of minutes before I put the chicken back in. Okay, I see it's cooking. Don't put the fire too high anymore because now we're going to put in the chicken. And the chicken is already cooked enough. And we let it sit for another 10 minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to make the binding sauce. So we start with 3 egg yellows. We add about 150 to 200 milliliter. Doesn't come to 1 milliliter. Okay. All right. So this is about 250 milliliters, so it's about 1 cup. We add it. We're going to add 3 soup spoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch. 1, 2, 3. We will see at the end if that is enough. If the sauce is not thick enough, we can always add another spoon, but this should about do it. It depends how thick you like to have your waterzooi. So that's good. And we're gonna do the final decoration, which is the parsley, and I have a magic scissor for that. It's a multi-scissor, so that makes it easy to cut some parsley. And the parsley is only a decoration, it doesn't do much to the taste, but it's always nice to finish a plate with some parsley on top of it. So that's already ready. So we just wait now a few minutes until the waterzooi is ready, and then we put this in the waterzooi. So if you like to know whether your waterzooi is ready, just open your pot and look for a piece of potato or parsnip and just stick it in with your fork, and when you feel it soft, your waterzooi is ready. If it isn't soft, you just let it cook for another couple more minutes. I don't have to worry about the chicken. The chicken is good, I know that, because it has been cooking for 50 minutes and some 10 more minutes in here. So everything is ready. So now I can add my binding sauce that I prepared, and I'm gonna pour it in slowly while I'm turning. So, and you see the nice color it is getting. That's the real color of a waterzooi. Now, something crucial you certainly don't have to forget: pepper and salt. That you do at your own taste. Don't put too much salt. We have 2 cubes of chicken bouillon in there. That's already salty. But you can add a lot of pepper, just to give it a more taste. So this should do it. So I look at the pot. In the pot, it looks good. So it's ready to go on the table. So the waterzooi is on the table, and this is the old-fashioned way. You present the waterzooi in a bowl with a spoon. Not like they do nowadays now in the restaurants in Ghent. They just put it in your dish, so you have much less. I think it's more fun if you can scoop it out yourself. So here we go. Piece of chicken. And then we take plenty of vegetables. Plenty of vegetables and the soup. Man, this looks delicious. Don't forget the final touch. This is the professional touch, just a little bit of decoration. And so here we are. Bon appetit, smakelijk, enjoy your meal. And let me know if you made it and if you liked it. Looking forward, and maybe if I get enough encouragement, I might do a second video. Have a nice evening. Bye bye.